Hello students, today we are discussing the topic is the preparation and properties of the dinitrogen. Preparation of dinitrogen, it is a commercial method. It is prepared by the commercial method by the liquefaction or fractional distillation of air. If the liquefaction of air or the fractional distillation of air, then the nitrogens are prepared here. So liquid nitrogen boiling point is 77.2 Kelvin. Distill out first, leaving behind the liquid oxygen boiling point 90 Kelvin. When we taken the air in a jar, this jar, so liquid air you are using here in this. So when we liquid and we heat here, then what happens, friends? The first leaving the nitrogen, because its boiling point is 77.2 Kelvin and oxygen boiling point is 90 Kelvin. So the liquid nitrogens are boiled and removed and separate out in this jar, and the oxygens are remain leaving behind in this round bottom flask. So this is the distillation and fractional distillation method we are discussing in the last year, students, in class 11. So one more method of preparation, ammonium chloride treated with the sodium nitrate. Ammonium chloride, in which what happens, students, these 4 hydrogen react with the 2 oxygen, elimination of water molecules, right? So hydrogen is removed here and oxygen is removed. Left here Cl, Na. Na react with the Cl to form NaCl, and only left nitrogen, both are combined to form N2 gas. The ammonium chloride amount of NO and HNO3 also formed in the reaction. These impurities are removed by passing the aqueous sulfuric acid containing potassium dichromate. So this reaction, this mixture, in which if we add the sulfuric acid and potassium dichromate, it will forms the NO and the HNO3. Right, students? So it can also be obtained by the thermal decomposition method. The ammonium chromate on heating turns into nitrogen, water and chromate are separated. Physical properties of dinitrogen. Dinitrogen is a colorless, odorless, tasteless and a non-toxic gas. Nitrogen about around the 70% or 71% it present in the atmosphere, but we can't able to identify and we can't able to isolate them with the help of color, taste and them, because that's why it is called as a colorless, odorless, tasteless, students. And nitrogen having the 2 types of isotope, nitrogen 14, nitrogen 15, students. Right. Okay, and it is very less soluble in water. The solubility is 23.2 centimeter cube in per liter of water. In a per liter of water, it dissolves only 23.2 centimeter cube. Chemical properties of dinitrogen. Dinitrogen is rather the inert. It means it is unreactive at the room temperature. Why it is inert? Because of them having the nitrogen which having the strong bond enthalpy. It present in the atmosphere as a N2 form, so it is the not easy to react with the oxygen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, etc. So that's why it is unreactive the atmospheric temperature. Because of the strong bond enthalpy, it will not dissociate easily. The reactivity, however, increases rapidly with rise in temperature. Reactivity, however, increases with rise in temperature here. When the temperature increases, what happens, students? Temperature increases. If the temperature increases, then the nitrogen between the bonds are going to be weak, because heat increases. The temperature, due to the temperature, the bond becomes weak. The nitrogens are move away from each other. Then at a certain time the nitrogens are separated here. Right, students? So it directly combine with the metal. When temperature increases, when nitrogens are reacted with the metal with rise in temperature, directly react with the metal to form ionic nitride, and non-metals forms covalent nitride. When metal react with nitrogen to form metal nitride, so between the metal and nitride the ionic bond is present. when non-metal react with nitrogens, non-metals react with the nitrogens. In this case, they form the covalent bond. Right, students? So look at here the example: lithium react with nitrogen to form lithium nitride. Magnesium react with nitrogen to form magnesium nitride. The next is the formation of ammonia. Ammonia present in very small quantity in the air, soil, and ammonia also formed by the decay of the organic matter, decay of the animal, decay of the plant leaves, the decay to form the ammonia. So here the method of preparations are mentioned here. So ammonium urea treated with water to form ammonium carbonate. Ammonium carbonate again dissociated to form ammonia, water and carbon dioxide. Ammonium chloride react with the calcium hydroxide to form ammonia, water and calcium chloride. Ammonium sulfate react with NaOH to form ammonia, water and sodium sulfate. Manufacture of ammonia. Nitrogen and hydrogen combine to form ammonia. The exothermic reaction the minus 46.1 kilojoule per mole. And using the Lee Katia principle, high pressure, low temperature and catalyst he using here. So here using the pressure, that is a 200 atmosphere pressure and temperature 700 kelvins, and using the catalyst like a iron oxide and small amount of potassium oxide and alumina catalyst. So during this reaction, with our increased rate of reaction and this applying these three methods, you prepare the ammonia. Students, so show here the flow chart or graph, a diagram. Nitrogens are passing here through a compressor. The compressor is having the high pressure. Through the high pressure, they are passing into the iron catalyst. Catalyst increase the speed of reaction, and they are turns into here. Here condenser is present. With the help of condenser, they turns into liquid ammonia. Right, students? Okay. Next is those gases. They are after the compression. Those are not reacted with catalyst. So they are moving toward they are not react with the catalyst. Directly they are entered into this chamber as a nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas. So such type of unreacted nitrogen hydrogens are again the press. We are applying the pump. When we apply the pump, suction pump. The suction pump through they are entered, and they are again react with the catalyst and form ammonia. Physical properties of ammonia: it is colorless gas with pungent odor. The freezing and boiling point is 198.4 and 239.7 Kelvin respectively. Solid and liquid state, it associated with the hydrogen bond as in case of water, because here the NH3 like this. Nitrogen is more electronegative, so it is the negative charge, and this is positive. And the water molecules, negative, positive, positive. So these are showing the attractions. So it shows the hydrogen bond with water molecules. When it dissolves in water molecules and forms a bond, so the melting and boiling point expected to be the high. The melting and boiling point is high as compared to the molecular mass. So when we compare the boiling point of ammonia and the boiling point of mixture of NH4OH, means we are dissolving into the ammonia dissolved in water. So this boiling point is higher than this one, because here the high molecular mass, here the ammonia having the high molecular mass, ammonia and water both mixture present to form ammonium hydroxide, so which having the high molecular mass than the ammonia. Correct? Structure of ammonia. Ammonia is a trigonal pyramidal structure. This is a trigonal pyramidal structure. Here we are showing this is a trigonal pyramid atoms. So three bond pair, one, this is two, this is three bond pair. and one lone pair of electrons. This is lone pair of electrons in the structures. Chemical property: action with water. When the ammonia dissolved in water to form the hydroxide, ammonia dissolved in water to form ammonium ion and hydroxide ion. Both then ammonia and hydroxide ion both are showing the attraction to form ammonium hydroxide. It is NH4OH. Action with acid: whenever the ammonia reacts with acid to form salt. For example, the NH3 react with HCl. What happens, friends? The NH4Cl is formed here, right? NH4Cl. Similarly, the NH3 react with the H2SO4. Then, students, I am using here 2 moles of ammonia, so it forms the NH4 whole twice SO4. Right, students? So weak base, it precipitate the hydroxide. It precipitate hydroxide of many metals of their salt solutions. So whatever the salt solutions are there, the salt solutions are precipitate the hydroxide groups. Zinc sulfate react with the ammonium hydroxide to form zinc hydroxide and ammonium sulfate here. So it means the zinc hydroxide here the precipitated form. So ammonia act as a Lewis acid. Lewis acid means the species which donate pair of electron. So the ammonia contain this one pair. Any species which sharing the one pair of electron to some other element, the such element we called as a Lewis acid. Right, friends? Lewis acid. Oxides of nitrogen. Next heading is oxides of nitrogen, students. So here the nitrogen forms the oxides. The name of the oxides formula, physical property I will give you here. The first one is the dinitrogen, or you may say nitrous oxide. The preparation: it is prepared by the ammonium nitrate forms dinitrogen or nitrous oxide. When ammonium nitrates are heated, here ammonium nitrates are heated to form dinitrogen or nitrous oxide. Properties of nitrous oxide: it is the colorless, unreactive, it is faint, unpleasant smell, it is known as a laughing gas. It causes the hysterical laugh. When person inhale this gas, person causes the hysterical laugh, and its oxygen state is +1. Nitrogen monoxide. So reduction of the sodium nitrate with the ferrous sulfate in presence of sulfuric acid. So look at here the reaction. Sodium nitrate, ferrous sulfate react with sulfuric acid to form NO. Nitrogen monoxide, ferrous sulfate, ammonium bisulfate is separated. Property is a neutral oxide, neither react with acid nor base. That is called neutral oxide. Colorless gas, it is paramagnetic in nature. It is paramagnetic in nature in the gaseous, but dimagnetic in liquid state. Neutral oxide, colorless gas, students. And next it is a paramagnetic in nature. So why it is paramagnetic nature? Because when you are use the nitric oxide forms such type of structures like this. Here this is unpaired electrons, and this is the pair of electrons of nitrogen. This is one. So students, here this is unpaired, this is unpaired, this is unpaired. So that's why it is paramagnetic in nature. But whenever it attains in liquid state, they are showing the kind of attraction, and they will becomes paramagnetic. Nitrogen, the oxidation state is +2, because when you move the nitrogen, oxygen more reactive negative than the electronegative, negative than the oxygen is more reactive negative than the nitrogen. So moving pair of electron towards this species, right, students? Or sometime it will attain the structure like this. Nitrogen stable here, and again the oxygen is stable here, and oxygen is unstable. Yes, students. Dinitrogen trioxide, the preparation of the nitric oxide, dinitrogen nitric oxide and dinitrogen tetroxide on heating with the dinitrogens. It is a blue color solid and acidic nature. It acts as acidic nature because when it dissolved in water to form HNO2, HNO3, etc. Right, students? The nitrogen dioxide NO2 preparation heating with lead nitride to form nitrogen dioxide. It is a brown color gas, acidic in nature. And nitrogen tetroxide, the cooling of nitrogen dioxide to form the nitrogen tetroxides. It is a colorless liquid, acidic nature, and the concentrated nitric acid treated with the phosphorus pentaoxide to form nitrogen pentaoxide. HNO treated with the P2 P4O10 to form nitrogen pentaoxide and SPO3. Colorless solid and acidic nature. It is acidic in nature. Nitric acid such as the H2N2O2 hyponitrous, HNO2 nitrous acid, HNO3 nitric acid. So first we are discussing about the nitric acid here. The preparation, the sodium nitrate and concentrated sulfuric acid to form nitric acid. Here sodium nitrate, sulfuric acid react with sulfuric acid and sodium bisulfite. It is also prepared by the Ostwald process. It is one of the important process, students. In the step 3 we will discuss ammonia treated with the oxygen to form nitrogen monoxide. Nitrogen monoxide heated to form nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxides are heated with water to form HNO3. It is colorless liquid, boiling point is 355.6 and freezing point 231.4. Nitric acid contains 68% of HNO3 by mass. It means the 1 liter of HNO3 which contain the 68 gram of HNO3. Right, 1 liter which contains the 68% is pure here. Right, students, and the density is 1.504. So properties here, students, we will discuss some properties. The nitric acid, the HNO3 exists in planar molecule structure such as shown in aqueous solution. Nitric acid behaves as a strong acid, hydronium and nitric ion. So HNO3 react with water to form the hydronium ion and NO3 minus. And nitric acid act as a oxidizing agent when it attacks the metal. For example, copper react with HNO3 to form copper nitrate. So here copper nitrate oxidizes. Copper nitrate again dissociated to form the Cu+2. So it is oxidizes. So it is oxidizes with the help of HNO3 oxidizing agent. Similarly, it oxidizes to the zinc. Oxidizes to zinc also. Here we are using dilute sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid. Dilute sulfuric acid and concentrated sulfuric acid both are from the same product. But only the formation of water here. Formation of water in dilute sulfuric acid forms more water, and the concentrated sulfuric acid forms less water. That's students. This is the reason. And dilute sulfuric acid forms nitrogen monoxide. Concentrated sulfuric acid forms the nitrogen dioxide. That's students. Okay. And the metal example chromium aluminum does not dissolve in a concentrated nitric acid because of formation of the passive film oxide surface. Right, when the chromium and aluminums are dissolved into the for example aluminum, when we are dissolved into the HNO3, it forms the Al2O3. Right, when you use the X moles of nitric acid, it forms Al2O3. So that's why it is the protective oxide layer. It is protective oxide layers. So that's why it cannot be dissolved in HNO3. Aluminum not dissolved. Similarly, chromium you may treat it with the X amount of HNO3. It forms the Cr2O3 or Cr2O7 forms. So protective oxide layer element around in which more number of oxo molecules are covering. So protective oxide layer. So this protective oxide layers which cannot be dissolved in acid. So it is called passive films. The concentrated nitric acid oxidizes the non-metal and their compound. So look at here, the non-metals iodine, carbon, sulfate and phosphates are there to form hydrochloric acid, carbon dioxide, sulfuric acid and phosphoric acids are respective compounds are forms here. Right, students? So one of the most important topic is the Brown ring test, students. This is the most important topic. So what happened here? The Brown ring is your part of syllabus, also practical syllabus. If you want to know the unknown element which contain the nitrate compound or not, NO, NO2, NO3, etc. So we have to use here the any component which contain NO2, NO3. I am using here HNO3, or you may use here the KNO2 salt also, right? So in which we are adding the ferrous sulfate, FeSO4 salt, freshly prepared, and again we are adding the through a slide we are adding the concentrated H2SO4. When we add all this mixture, then it forms the brown ring here. Students, brown ring. So brown ring, this one, this is the brown ring, students. In between the layer is there na? In between the layer, so that is we call as a brown ring. This is the brown ring. Right, students, this is the brown ring here. So I will show you, wait. So this is the brown ring, students. Here is the brown ring. This is brown ring. Right, students. This is brown ring. This part is the brown ring. So if we are use this mixture, if you use the mixture of concentrated sulfuric acid, mixture of KNO2 or the HNO3, right, in which we add the ferrous sulfate and adding sulfuric acid to form brown ring here. Right, students? Right, this is the reaction that occurs here. This is the reaction. So when brown ring forms, it forms this chemical compound. Phosphorus available in 3 different forms: white, red and black phosphorus, right? So these are the 3 allotropes of the phosphorus. So white phosphorus is the translucent, means which allow the light, and waxy solid. It is poisonous in nature, it is insoluble in water, it is growing dark and dissolving in NaOH to give pH3, right? So here one of the example, P4 dissolving with NaOH and water to form phosphine and sodium hypophosphite. So in this case you may observe here you may got the different the single reaction, the phosphorus having the different oxidation state. 0, it is +3, and here the I think here the +4, students, right? So here it occupying the disproportionate reaction. So these are disproportionate reactions. White phosphorus less stable, therefore it is reactive and the solid under the normal conditions. So white phosphorus is there. White phosphorus is the very reactive, most reactive, students. Why it is reactive? Because its bond angle is 60 degrees Celsius and which ignition temperature is very low. Its bond angle is bond angle 60 degrees Celsius, and its ignition temperature, it means the burning capacity. By allowing the very low temperature, it started to ignite. So that's why it catches fire easily, and it easily catches fire and dense fumes. It gives the P4O10 phosphorus pentaoxide when the phosphorus burn in presence of air to form phosphorus pentaoxide. So here are, students, the red phosphorus which is obtained by the heating of white phosphorus. It is obtained by heating of the white phosphorus at 573 Kelvin at inert atmosphere. And red phosphorus are heating under the high pressure to form series of black phosphorus will be formed here. So when during the heating, what happened here? The particles are fused with one another. particles are fused with one another. Due to the fusing, the formation of the series of the black phosphorus. Yes, friends, if you are using the phosphorus, red phosphorus, we are heating in a chamber. Then what happens, friends? If you are heating means the phosphorus are fused with one another. P4 fused with the next P4. They are fused under the high pressure. The pressure you are applying here, if you are applying the pressure means particles are come close to each other, so that's why they are fused to form series of black phosphorus. Red phosphorus are grey, lustrous, odorless, non-poisonous. It is insoluble in water, soluble in carbon disulfide. And the chemical red phosphorus are less reactive as compared to the white phosphorus, students. Understood, friends? So it is a polymeric consisting chain. The P4 tetrahedral linked together in the manner shown in figure. So this is the red phosphorus here. The red phosphorus are arranged in the linear chain form. They are arranged here. Linear chain form arranged here. Linear chain form. Right. So this is the linear chain forms. There is a red phosphorus. Black phosphorus, already we know that the red phosphorus are heated under the high pressure to form black phosphorus. So black phosphorus are two types, alpha black and beta black. Alpha black phosphorus is formed by when red phosphorus heated under sealed tube 803 Kelvin. Right. And the black phosphorus are obtained by the heating white phosphorus at 473 Kelvin pressure. So 473 Kelvin temperature under high pressure, and it does not burn up to 673 kelvins because it is a very complex polymer structure, so that's why it cannot be burned here at the till the temperature does not reaches to the 673 kelvin. Phosphine, the phosphine means pH3, students, pH3. So the it is prepared by the calcium phosphide treated with water and dilute HCl. Look at here, calcium phosphide treated with water to form calcium hydroxide and pH3. Calcium phosphide heated with HCl to form calcium chloride and pH3. So it means the calcium phosphide is the most important compound which help in the formation of the phosphine. It means calcium phosphide react with the acid as well as the water molecules, and the phosphorus heated NaOH and water, base and water to form phosphine, and sodium phosphate is formed here, hypophosphate. So the when the pure it is non-inflammable, but when it becomes flammable owing to the presence of P2H4 or P4, it is non-inflammable in nature, and owing the presence of P2H4 and P4 vapors. To purify it forms the impurity, it absorbs the hydrogen iodide to form the phosphonium iodide on treating with KH gives the phosphine. When the phosphide heated with the hydrogen iodide, pH3 heated with the Hi to form pH4 and I. So here a pair of electrons are present here. It dissociated to form H plus I minus. This H plus move towards here to form pH4. pH4 is a negative charge iodine attract here to form the phosphonium iodides are formed here. Students, physical property, again it becomes the colorless gas, rotten fish smell, poisonous in nature, and it acts as an oxidizing agent like HNO3, Cl2, Br2, etc. The phosphine in water decomposes presence of the light, giving red phosphorus and hydrogen gas. When it absorbs the copper sulfate or mercury chloride solution corresponding the phosphide is obtained. Example, copper sulfate heated with the phosphine to form, here 4 students, here 4, CuSO4. CuSO4 heated with PS3 to form CuPS2 and the 3H2SO4, right? So here reaction is not imbalanced, so you have to make reaction become balanced, students. Okay, mercury chloride heated with the PS3 to form Hg3P2 and HCl. It means the metal which react with the any metal react with the phosphine to form respect to phosphide is forms here. And phosphine is a weak basic in nature, like ammonia. It gives the phosphonium compound with acid. Acid HBr react with phosphine to form phosphonium bromide. It is used in the technically used in the home signal. The what are the home signals means students, it is a kind of the flame emitted in the dark place, that is called home signals. And for example, the railway tracks, in the railway signals, they are also using the home signal purpose, using these signals. Okay, next, the calcium carbide, calcium phosphide are the pierced thrown in a sea when the gas evolved burn the several as a signal. So when any container contains calcium carbide and calcium phosphide are the thrown into the sea when gases evolved burn and several signals are signal means it is emitting the smoke, it emitting the kind of smoke, students, right? And phosphorus are the two types. Phosphorus forms two types of compound: phosphorus trihalide, phosphorus pentahalide with halogen. Phosphorus trihalide, it is obtained by the chlorine passed over the phosphorus to form phosphorus trichloride, and the phosphorus treated with thionyl chloride to form the phosphorus trichloride, sulfur dioxide and sulfur thionyl chloride. Property, it is colorless liquid in the hydrolysis in presence of moisture to form phosphoric acid H3PO3, and react with organic compound containing OH group or containing OH group. Then what happens here? When the acetic acid treated the PCl3 to form acetyl chloride plus H3PO3. Ethanol treated with the PCl3 to form the ethyl chloride and the H3PO3. So here students, here the chlorine which acts as an oxidizing agent to remove the hydroxy groups, right? So this is the structure of phosphorus trichloride. Phosphorus pentachloride preparation, the phosphorus treated with the 10 moles of chloride to form phosphorus pentachloride, or phosphorus treated with the 10 moles of thionyl chloride to form phosphorus pentachloride and sulfur dioxide. Properties, PCl5 is yellowish powder, and in moisture hydrolysis to form phosphorus oxatrichloride converted into phosphoric acid. Look at it, students. Phosphor trichloride react with water to form phosphonyl chloride HCl. Phosphonyl chloride again treated with the water to form H3PO4 phosphorus acid, right? When heated it sublime, but it decomposes in a stronger heating PCl5 to form PCl3 and Cl2. It reacts with organic compound containing OH group, converting them into chloro derivatives. Look at here, the same reaction already we have discussed, same reactions are forms here. And finally divided metal react with the PCl5 to form respective compound. The metallic chlorides are forms here, metallic chlorides. So it means the phosphorus are there, the phosphorus which is releasing the out of 5 chlorines, it releasing the 2 chlorine, this one, it releasing 2 chlorines, right? So it releasing only 2 chlorines and remaining PCl3 is as it is. Why this dissociating only 2 chlorines? Let we discuss here. So it is the trigonal bipyramidal structures. It is trigonal bipyramidal structures in which the 3 equatorial bond, which contain the 3 equatorial bond. This is equatorial. 1 chlorine here. So this is the bond, equatorial phosphorus here. And 2 axial bond, 1 chlorine here and 1 chlorine here, like this. So phosphorus central part, like this. Right, students, this is the 3 axial bonds. So and 3 equatorial bond. This is the equatorial bonds. Equatorial position, they are present equatorial bonds, and the 2 axial bond, this is axial bond. So axial bond is weaker than equatorial bonds. Axial bond having the high bond length and less strength. Equatorial bond having the strong bond and and high strength. Small bond and high strength. So equatorial bonds are never be dissociate, only dissociate the axial bonds, right? So this is due to the fact that the axial bonds are suffer more repulsions. So axial bonds are there, the axial bonds are suffer the more repulsions from the this chlorine, axial bond causes more repulsions, so that's why they are more easily dissociated. And when the PCl5 dissociated, it forms the PCl3 plus Cl2. It never forms the PCl4, it dissociates PCl3 only. PCl5 dissociate to form PCl3. Right, students? Okay. And the ionic solid, the PCl4, PCl5, PCl4 plus PCl5 minus, phosphorus tetrachloride plus and phosphorus hexachloride minus, both are showing the attraction, that is the equatorial bond. The ionic bond is present here. The students, the cation PCl5 and tetrahedral anion PCl minus are arranged to form octahedral structure. It is the type of the octahedral structures. Right, students, this is about the today topic, students. I hope you understood. Thank you so much.